You said 1 year, and the other two on the park board have had only a few months, so they're all excited.
So, then the other two appointments, as I was getting to, they're just recently were appointed to finish off a term, and now it would be a 3-year term, if they were to be appointed, and that is Mr. Gross and Mr. Leverty. We've already approved them as a 3 appointment. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Grab them quick before they change your mind.
You're bound for council in a couple of years. It's the Paula show now.
This will be quick.
Yeah.
The next one is an ordinance replacing the resolution that adopts the comprehensive plan map amendment and associated with the View Properties rezone. This process has taken a really long time, and we've had a bit of confusion several times along the way. And this is the technicality. Our code requires that comprehensive plan amendment be adopted by ordinance. So it's replacing the resolution that council adopted months ago with an ordinance to correct it, and it was pointed out by the hearing examiner. So pretty simple.
Is this unrelated to the next one?
It is. The next one is related to this.
Okay. So next week, should those be done in reverse order? Do we need to rezone?
No, rezone follows comprehensive.
Okay.
And so the council has approved the comprehensive plan amendment. So this is a technicality on the ordinance. It should be done before the rezone is final. And the rezone is, I believe, contingent upon performance measures. So we're hoping that they can move forward together. But the comprehensive plan amendment, for sure, we need to adopt the ordinance instead of the prior resolution.
Okay. Questions for that one?
I kind of read that, and when I looked at it, the whole stretch from where they're asking to be rezoned all the way south is right now office, designated for office. Office park.
There,
I mean, that's kind of a bad location for office parks.
Right. Property to the north, between them and county line and the residential, that is still zoned office park. Everything else is light industrial now. And all those properties are owned by.
The map, it looked like it still had it as office park or something.
Right. It'll take a while to get that. And it's also got a zoning overlay that's manufacturing industrial center. Anything you want to know about those, please feel free to ask. So we can try and catch up on that.
Questions on the comprehensive plan for ordinance, replacing the resolution?
We've talked about this Corliss property rezone thing, so it's wore out.
Right, exactly.
It's almost as good as defensive.
Yes, this is hopefully.
Sloan doesn't hear what the scientists say.
I'd almost forgotten about that. So it's moving along. Any other questions?
Move forward.
The process itself to date has had support from the planning commission, three public hearing council. We're just trying to wrap it up in the correct package.
Okay, let's talk about rezoning.
The rezone is the same proposal that follows.
Okay. So we can move that forward.
So that, yes, and so, based on further development with the proponent, hopefully both of them will pass at the same time. Definitely the comprehensive plan amendment ordinance, rezone may be held off.
Questions on the rezone? Council pleasure? Let's talk about the Memorandum of Understanding.
Okay, this is on the order of the memorandums of understanding that the property, and they were not placed on the property for quite a while, and in fact, by Mr. Dent, who eventually had to demolish the house. We required a memorandum of understanding about how long they would be allowed to have the buildings in transit without placing them permanently, and also required a bond to cover the cost of demolition should the owners fail to put the building on, on the ground, on a foundation. This is a mobile office that the AmeriGas had built for their site. Due to complications, or I shouldn't say complications, they have a complicated permit for the entire site that they have to get through before they get permission to put the building on their site. And the building was ready. And they were going to, the manufacturer said you need to get it off the property, they're going to charge you a fortune. And they were concerned about the safety of the building. So they asked if they could move it. And in fact, the building has arrived, apparently. I haven't been on West Valley Highway, but their neighbor to the south, their adjacent neighbor to the south, has offered to store the building for up to 6 months, I gather. It's on wheels, it's in a yard, and so they have to get us a copy. I don't know if you received a copy of their understanding with their neighbor about the rental, and sign memorandum of understanding with the general manager, and give us a bond to cover removal of the building should they fail to locate it on the property. That, I hope I'm being clear enough.
Is there a timeline that they have to have it out of there, or is it?
We're giving them 6 months.
6 months?
Max. But hopefully everything will be on their property or be resolved within the next couple months. But yeah, we're giving them 6 months max.
They're anxious to move forward, and it's an expensive building, and they're going to be looking at it across the ground.
Do they have to take this out onto the highway, or on West Valley? And
Yes. It's a modular, so it's not like it's a house, it's a modular that's designed to be moved that way. So yeah, they will have to.
Like 1,400 square feet?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. It's 2 parcels, 2 pieces.
So I was wondering if
And they're responsible for traffic control and all the costs associated with that, including
And they have to notify us before they move it, so that we can notify the police and fire department.
Other questions? What's council's pleasure? Okay.
I was just gonna say, I was looking at, you said that there's a time limit, but I don't see anything in the staff report or the resolution specifically identifying limits. Is it in the memorandum of agreement then?
If it's not,
We'll make sure.
Yeah, we'll make sure
I
it's in
think
there.
there's a blank list for it.
Okay, just wanna make sure we have it.
Well,
And there's a dollar amount.
there, I believe.
You've got the deadline of June 30th, 2013,
Okay,
so.
you're already behind.
Trying to collect the late fees on it, yeah.
We wanna collect that bond.
Yeah, it was a rapid effort between Morgan and myself to get something pulled
Yeah.
together, and then the vehicle for accepting it was another question. So, hopefully we'll get a lot of juice out of it by next week, or whatever we choose to pursue it. Anything else?
We're good? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're out. Next year, transportation improvement plan.
You'll have copies of it, I hope, portions of it anyway. This went to planning commission, they approved it, they looked it over and approved it. It has briefly gone to, Public Works Committee. And this is just, like the staff report says, something we're required to do every so many years, every 6 years, and we're at our 6th year. So, worked with Sean, worked with AHBL over the summer to get this put together and make sure everything was appropriate. There was some things we had to modify, dates and things like that.
Questions or for clarification?
So the, design money for the urban trail, that's for the, section southbound, or is that section, that's the lost grant on after we did?
That's a section that we lost the money in, yeah.
Other questions? Council pleasure.
Move forward.
Next up. I know Ken, here we go. King County Public Health Local Hazardous Waste Management Program Training.
Yeah, we do this one every year. We normally use, Olympic resources. We got it this year. They did a good job. We use the money. Doesn't cost the city.
Because we just accepted this grant like 2 weeks ago, right? So it's just now spending that money?
Actually, this is for next year, yes. Correct. This will be next year's grant.
Any questions? Okay, move forward.
And the next one, of course, goes along with the last one, is using Olympic environmental resources. They've been the ones that have been handling the grant and dealing with the Earth Day and recycle events and collection events over the last 3 years that I know of, and they've been doing a good job for the city.
Is this something we have to bid, or is it considered professional services?
It's considered professional services.
Not that I want to get rid of them, I'm just making sure we're good. Questions? You're going to present all of these going forward, because you're quick at it.
Try.
You're going to do next year's budget. No.
No.
Okay, next up.
This, you're looking at, parametrics, yeah. We want to do a traffic impact study for the Stewart-Thornton signal, so that we can set up an LID with a latecomers agreement for Thornton Road. Anybody doing development on Thornton Road, so that if we do development after we put the improvements in on Stewart, that they'll have to pay for latecomers. We already have a couple people that are looking into doing some projects down there. Parametrics has given us a price of $1,500, which is very reasonable to do that traffic study. And so this will give us a chance to recoup some of the money later on.
Have we done any traffic study on that in the last couple of years?
No.
We did
Not,
do a traffic
well, not
study.
for that specific signal. We did for Stewart Road, but not for the specific signal.
Well, we did with Thornton
Yeah.
Signal about, I think it's been about 4 or 5 years.
It's over 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember doing it, so.
I just remember Valentine.
I know we
It was done when the project originally started for the intersection at Stewart and Thornton. I believe Sean was involved in that one, weren't you?
No, we didn't do traffic. I was involved in that one.
You weren't involved in the traffic study?
No.
Okay, well, there was a traffic study done, but it probably was 5 years ago.
Yeah, no, we saw one that was like at least 5 years old.
Yeah, okay, that was.
It'd be before the
Before my
Lakeland
time.
Hills,
Yeah.
or really close to that.
Yeah, it's not, that's $1,500, better get an update.
Yeah.
Speaking of traffic studies, I noticed we have one on West Valley right now.
Yes. It's for the design work that they're gonna be doing.
That was good. My next question is, there a way to kind of bundle this together and do one on West Valley?
We're already doing the one on West Valley, so.
You read my mind. Another reason, budget next year. Okay, Questions, comments, concerns? Move forward. Okay. This is the City Hall parking lot stormwater retrofits and road impact development project. Anything new for you about?
Yeah, and there's been a, I don't know if you received the scope of the estimate and scope, but it's been, if you haven't, I have only one copy of this one because it's been revised already. And Sean can talk to this a little bit, but it's, we received that NPDES grant for $120,000. What that's for is we can use it for design for low impact, development type things. And what we're considering is to go along with the Milwaukee project is to put in, pervious asphalt for parking on, for City Hall so that we can cut down some of our stormwater drainage issues. Because because of part of the design is going to bring the sidewalk for Milwaukee over by City Hall instead of going out behind the parking area there. So what we want to do is improve the whole area, and what this will pay for is that design is part of that. We'll take part of that fund, and then the next one we're going to talk about will take another portion of the fund.
And how much, I didn't see the figure in there, what's the total for that one? And it's just design work,
Yeah,
right?
he just updated that, yeah, it's just design work.
So the money that we just approved, or the grant that we just received is gonna be paying for this?
That's correct.
Correct. So, and Sean probably has more up-to-date numbers, because what I have is, total on this is $76,250.
It's about 68,
Yeah.
69.8 now for this.
And you said that's partial design work?
That's the,
That's,
I'll let Sean tell you.
You mean, Council Mayor, Director Sean Comfort, HBL, Inc., 2250 North 30th Street, Washington, 403. So, the grant you received allows for planning and engineering design services. So, people-related studies that are necessary as well as engineering design. So, for the grant, there's two check-in points. There's 30% design, which is submitted to the Department of Ecology. This is not a federal grant. This is a state grant through the Department of Ecology. So we would submit a 30%, what they call a pre-design report, and bundled with that is a 30% design that gets submitted to the city and to DOE. And then we have, the other piece of this is to go to 90% design. So the grant calls for that to be submitted as well to DOE. And the city, we would also submit a 60% to the city, but then DOE gets the 90% as well as the city. So essentially you would have shovel-ready project in terms of future grants for construction. That's the idea of these types of grants that the Department of Ecology is giving out. They want these projects to be done. So they want the design phase to be done with this grant, and then the ability to go back and get construction funds. So there's essentially three projects that the city applied for the LED improvements in front of City Hall, and then some more LED improvements along the west frontage of Milwaukee, south of 3rd. In essence, enhancing some of the proposed improvements we had with the Milwaukee Boulevard project. Third project is looking at the outfalls within the city and coming up with a priority list of which outfalls need to be worked on, which are in the worst shape in terms of water quality, how improvements can be made. We'll look at the outfalls, whittle that down to kind of a preferred list, and then what we'll do is proposal you'll have next week, and what we'll talk about in Public Works on Wednesday for those outfalls is we're asking for the authority now to move forward with our 30% design element. We'll come back to council in probably late January, early February with another proposal that shows you what we're actually going to do the final design with. So kind of a two-phase approach, because it's really difficult to scope want to do as much design as we can with the funds we have, with what DOE's given you. So trying to maximize the amount of design work we can do is take an initial look at those outfalls and come back to you.
And the $120,000 covers all three of those initial projects?
Correct. So the idea is the fee for the Milwaukee, the 3 locations I talked about, Milwaukee, was now down to 69. So we'll allocate about $6,000 or so for staff time with that $120,000. So if you do the math, that leaves us around 35-ish for the outfall project. So we'll take $9,500 of that for the preliminary phase, and then with that remaining fee, do as much design as we can, 90%. That's will come back to you though with another scope of work in early February, late January timeframe. Because our 30% is due January 31st. So we have to get that phase done by then. Then the construction documents are due August of 2014. So coming back to you in early February gives us plenty of time to get that design wrapped up by August timeframe.
Other questions? Sounds good. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
Did he steal your thunder with the next one?
No, he actually covered the next one, so that just means that.
Okay.
I was gonna make him do it anyway.
So, council pleasure on that one as well? Yeah. Puget Sound Energy Agreement.
We just wanted to get this on. We haven't actually seen the agreement yet. We're waiting for it to come from PSE. They're having a time frame. We're hoping to have it before Wednesday for Public Works Committee, and we'd like to be able to put it on the agenda for next week. But it's the agreement for the right-of-way, the moving of the poles for sewer growth is basically what it's for.
So it's placeholder at this time.
It's
hopefully more
placeholder,
comes.
yes.
Council want to see it on the agenda next week? Gordon Trucking, Gordon Development Plan.
Same kind of thing. We're just waiting for the final plan to get to us. I'm going to take it to Public Works Committee. We wanted it as a placeholder. I'm supposed to have it tomorrow. I'm meeting with Norm tomorrow to pick it up. And this is, of course, has to do with the right-of-way and the developer agreement for Gordon Trucking.
So is this not part of the 6.7% for
It is.
the reduced?
Yes.
Okay.
Council's pleasure?